Hi, my name is Christy Love, and I have no idea why I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. It's a real pleasure talking with you, Christy. I have followed you on Instagram for a little while. You have some pretty funny comments and pretty funny things up, and some life advice, if you will. And also, I wanted to ask you as we get started. When I looked your name up, I mean, this was a while ago. There is a and I know you weren't in it because you are a young lady. Get Christy Love. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have. Yeah, let me tell you about it. I mean, who when I did that show a long time ago, I know I look like so young, but I'm probably like 130 and I lost my tan. I'm so sorry, but here I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it started in was it 1974? So yeah, you're at least like in your hundreds now, and you look great. I mean, what's your skincare routine?
Yeah, it's the Korean stuff.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could just change shades of color too. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You're like a chameleon.
Thank
So anyway, so yeah, you've actual list of things you've done is impressive. You're all over the palette. So for those who don't know Christy, first of all, you've got a podcast that you're starting up called In Bed with Christy Love. ChristyVIP.com. You can find all of Christy's links there. But again, you're go ahead, tell us about it. I mean, how did you get into so many different walks of life?
Oh my goodness. Well, getting into the adult industry, pretty much because I need to pay for the roof over my head. So I found that, the best, easiest way is just pretty much have a camera and have a bed and a nice dildo, and there you go.
That's all you need. That's all I need.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. But you also you're also an ordained minister, correct?
Yes, yeah. So my story is that I went to Bible college and I got ordained, and my husband and I, who's also ordained minister, we had this vision to go to San Diego to plant a church. And while we were church planning, it costs a lot of money and it doesn't pay so well. So I remember we were both so stressed, and he was looking for a job and I was looking for mine. And I was just scrolling through Craigslist just to find anything as fast as I could. And then I saw this ad like work at home and make good money. I said, what is that ad? I was like, so I clicked on it. I did not know anything about webcamming. And I just started scrolling in it, and I was like, oh my God, what are these half naked women, on this site? And I was so like conservative and very shy. But, when you are in desperation to pay for your bills so you're not homeless, you do what you got to do. And so um, it was from ministry to getting into the adult industry. And then fast forward later on, I ended up moving into actual porn. But I always make it clear that I never left my faith. I never, went into it because of rebellion, and I still love Jesus. So yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I think a lot of people just have this false association of, porn stars, people that are making adult films, they don't have Jesus in their life. They don't have religion. They're horrible people, but I mean, clearly you are a proof that that's not the case, and I'm sure there's many others in your industry that are the same way.
Yes, yeah. Actually, there are a few Christians out there that are also in the industry as well. So it's
That's
really
awesome. So I have to ask. I mean, when you're working with people, on your other side of your life, being a pastor, are there people who are like, "Wait a minute, didn't I watch you in a film last night? Like, that's not okay." Like, do you ever have to deal with that kind of person?
Oh yeah, all the time. But I'm very straightforward that I'm in the adult industry, and I am also a pastor. I let everyone know, even when they meet me, um, because I feel that if I just let my skeletons out, then you could already make your prejudgments. But if you try to hide your skeletons, I feel like the situation ends up getting worse.
Yep. Yep, I hear you. I mean, I'm an open book is what I always tell people. So I'm always like, I am going to tell you everything about me because who knows what I'll be doing in the future. It's like I don't need stuff to come out. I'm just going to let it always be out.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I have a lot of people, who that don't approve of what I do. And my thing is I'm here to survive, and if you're not willing to pay for my expenses, then I'm still doing me.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's just such an interesting cross section. So that's why when I thought about, I'm like, man, I'd love to have Christy on the show because I just want to ask you about like what it's like again just find that intersection and be able to live that life. And it seems like you're very happy with the life you've chosen for yourself.
Yes, yes. I feel, very free. I feel very honest. Um, I think that in everything we do, we all are kind of working out our salvation. So is this going to be like my long-term goal? I have people who are like, you're such a sinner and saying all these horrible things. I'm like, so will you accept me when I retire? Because I don't think I'm going to be 80 years old when still doing porn. So it's like the moment I retire is the moment you accept me, or can you just accept me where I'm at?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and again, for me, it's like I'm an inner peace kind of person. I'm the type of person that's like, if you are happy with who you are and what you're doing, then to me, that is where, Jesus or whatever uh deity you believe in, that's where they'll meet you and say, "Oh, are you happy with the decisions you made? Are you happy with what you did?" And if the answer is yes, then I think that's exactly what they're looking for. Personally, that's how I feel. But anyway, we are here well, first of all, before we get into that, I want to ask you, with the podcast coming out on your end, what's this podcast about?
Yeah. Okay. So it is like the real authentic side of who I am, like my stories of like my chaotic life, the things I've had to go through, and how it could relate to people. So it's pretty deep. You get I feel like, people get the comedy side of me where I'm so outgoing and funny at times, and then people get the sexual side of me where I'm so hardcore, and my podcast is the real, raw, authentic me, where I just tell you everything about my life, and how hopefully it can help other people that are struggling with the same things that I've struggled with. Um, and I've shot probably like 8 episodes, and there's many times I've cried on it, just being so real. So if you really want to know the real raw, you've got to listen to this podcast.
That's awesome. And again, it's called In Bed with Christy Love. You can find it wherever you get podcasts. And you debuted very early on, like I'm sorry, very, very soon to when we recorded this. So for me, it's like if you want to get caught up, you can get caught up pretty quick. So check it out wherever you get podcasts, folks. Is there also video involved with it?
Yes, yeah. So it'll be also displayed on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So if you want the visual aspect, or, wherever you listen to your podcast, will just be the audio.
Great. And again, all links for Christy can be found over at ChristyVIP.com. And that's CHRISTY. My sister's name is also Christy, and she spells it very weird. Kristi. And I'm like, you're the only Christy I've ever met that spells it like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, ever met another Christy that spells it like that? I'm like, come on, you're crazy. Change the spelling. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Like I said, we're going to do our topic generator here and why we keep boxes just in case. My word. Okay, so that kinda gets into hoarding a little bit. So, if you do you are you one of those people who, like, likes to keep a box just in case you need it?
No, I'm worse. I mean, I hate hoarding, like just hate it absolutely to the point where I throw everything away and then I'm like, "Oh shoot, I needed that, so I have to rebuy it."
Yep, yep.
I'm one of those.
I'm one of those people. So like for me, I'm kind of like that, but what I'll do is like if I just got a new laptop for Christmas and I kept the box because I'm like, oh, just in case I need to exchange it or whatever. I kept it, but then I'll put it somewhere and I'll forget about it. And 2 months later, my wife or someone will be over and they'll like kind of like walk by it. I'm like, oh, why do I still have that? So then
Oh,
I take it and throw it out, but then it always happens to where it's like right after I throw it out, I needed that.
yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yep.
Actually, I have done that. So I am currently moving, and so I just got a new iPad. So I'm holding that box for when I move. I don't know if that counts, but yeah.
It counts. Yeah. Um, no, and I'm with you on the hoarding. My mom is gonna hate if she listens to this and hears me tell this story, but we're in the process of moving her out of my childhood home, the home that I grew up in, where she raised 4 kids, and so there were 6 of us, and she's alone now. So it's like you don't need all this space. Well, I didn't realize that she had kept I mean, everything I ever made, like she had
Yeah.
old report cards, things I drew. I used to write comics as a kid because I was a nerd. And so, like, she kept all that stuff. And so she starts coming, like, we're in the basement, going through things. And she's like, oh, Jeff, this is your box. And I'm like, what's this? And I open it up and I'm like, what? It's just papers among papers among papers. And I'm like, why did you keep all this? She's like, I can't throw it out. And I'm like, well, I'll go throw it out. She's like, no, don't take it home with you. And it just got to a point where it kept happening. So I'm like, okay, mom. And again, if she's listening, I'm sorry, mom. I'm like, okay, mom. And I'll take it home with me. And then on the way out, I would just dump it in a dumpster somewhere.
Oh. Oh, you didn't want to show your kids?
No, no, it's like, what am I it's some of the stuff was kind of cool. Like I remember there was a painting I made that was like really well done. It was like from my 8th grade and I thought, I could keep this and I literally kept it for like 2 weeks and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? No, just throw it out. But moving is difficult. So you're in the middle of a move right now. I've done that way too many times in my life and I am done with it.
Yeah, it is definitely tough. I don't like it, but it was kind of weird. I mean, I found actually another place that was um bigger but cheaper rent. So I said, "Psh, I'm gonna move because my lease
Yeah.
went up. So I'm like, they jacked up the price like by 800 bucks when if I wanted to renew. I was like, I mean, yeah, but there's another place that I found that's cheaper and bigger.
Yep. No, that's brutal. I had a similar thing when I was, when I was in my 20s. I was moving to all the cheapest places while I was in college, and it was like one time I found this place. They're like, "Oh, we won't move your rent up for 2 years." I'm like, "Oh, great!" And so I lived there, and it was awesome. And then they decided that they were going to do renovations. And for those that don't know, who don't rent, sometimes when landlords do renovations, they say, "Okay, we need to get everyone out." So we can redo the entire building. And if we do that, we can't just kick people out. So we'll just raise their rent by 1,000. And that's what happened to me. And I'm like, come on. I was like, I will live here. You can do construction while I'm here. I'm a poor college kid. But yeah, unfortunately did not work out and I had to move. But yeah,
Oh,
that's always stressful.
yeah, yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So you're in the LA area, correct?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what's moving there like? Because obviously going anywhere takes double the amount of time because of the traffic. So, do you when you get the moving truck, is it like, oh, I got to go sit in traffic in this thing for 3 hours?
Yes, definitely it sucks. No about that. But because I just moved to LA about 2 years ago, I lived in San Diego for about a good 14 years, I think. Yeah, something like that. So when I moved, oh my God. Oh, the traffic was horrible. Yeah, it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare.
Yeah, when I have a friend that used to work at Fox Sports Radio down there in LA, downtown LA, and when I went out and visited him, I'd never been there before, and I was in Santa Monica. My girlfriend and I at the time were in Santa Monica, and we were just having a good time. Like, oh, this place is great. And he texts me and he's like, "Hey, where are you at?" I was like, "Santa Monica," and he's like, "Are you on your way here?" And I'm like, "We're not meeting for another 2.5 hours. Like, we'll leave in like, an hour and a half. We'll be fine. You need to leave now." That's what he kept saying. You need to leave right now because it was rush hour. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, no, man. Trust me. I'm fine. He's like, you don't live here. Leave right now. And I did. And so what should have been about an hour drive, like what it even said on my app, ended up being 2.5 hours. Got there right on time. And I'm like, holy cow, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you located now?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. You ever been out this way?
No.
No? Yep.
Oh,
So, it beautiful little city in the Midwest and, traffic for us is, it gets pretty bad close to the downtown area, but it's nothing like LA. I mean, I've lived in Dallas. Dallas was awful. LA is a whole other animal. It's like the whole city is always on lockdown, it seems like.
yeah, yeah. No, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was my hardest thing I had to adjust because everyone's like, "Oh, how do you like LA?" I was like, "You know what? I love everything about LA except for the traffic."
Yep.
And I was in San Diego over the weekend, and I was like, "Oh my God, it feels so nice that this is what it feels like not to be in on the road
Yep.
outside of LA." Oh my gosh, but yeah, it's really, really bad. I remember just to go 2 miles, it would take me 45 minutes during traffic hour. It's so ridiculous so I have to look at what time I'm leaving and what time I need to arrive there.
Yep, yep, yeah, and it's funny because, like I said, with me, I mean, that was probably back in 2011. I had the GPS on my phone, but he was like, "You can't trust that out here." He's like, "One little accident will throw that GPS timing off by an hour," and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
"Wow, that's crazy."
I totally agree with that. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and it's for someone like me again, like, we deal with traffic here, we've got a highway out here that's insane. It's literally been under construction I think since I was born. And so it's just constantly like terrible traffic on Highway 55 out here. But like, for going to LA, and for you I'm sure too, living in San Diego and wherever you grew up as well, you kind of are like, yeah, you hear about the LA traffic, but then you get out there and you're like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
Oh, no. Yes, yes.
Yep.
So you moved from LA to,
St. Louis.
St.
Yep.
Louis.
So
Yeah.
I've actually never lived in LA, but I've
Oh,
visited.
oh,
Yeah, I've visited many times. It's a wonderful city. Like you said, I've always and I even said this to my buddy that lives out there. I'm like, I would move here in a second, but man, the traffic. That's literally the only thing about it I didn't like.
yeah.
The,
It's
but it's funny too because he also says, that he's like, "We don't have seasons." He'll
mm,
tell me it's cold one day, and I'm like, "Cold? What is it, 65?" And he's like, "Oh, 64." And I'm
yeah,
like, "Okay, yeah, that's not cold."
yeah, no, that's true. I do not. Yeah, I like how LA is like the coldest is maybe, yeah, 65, 64, maybe 63 on a very, very, very cold day.
Yeah, I was telling him when the first time I was out there, he's giving me trouble, and a couple other people told me this too. You came at a bad time because I came in early June, and so they're like, "Oh, you came during June gloom, not
Yeah.
the best time to come here." And I'm like, "Okay," but by like at least when I was there the first time, it was like by 1 o'clock every day the sun was back out, and I was like, "Oh, so you that's your terrible weather as you get cloudy mornings?" Like, oh no.
Oh, oh yeah, the June gloom is real.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I can't sunbathe in the morning. Oh well. So you said you lived in San Diego for a while. I've been to San Diego as well. Beautiful city as well. What's it like making that transition from San Diego to LA?
Well, that's a good question. I would say it was a hard transition only because I I was going through a lot in that time of my life. So if you guys don't know, my husband is in prison, and it was like all over the news. And I'm totally okay talking about this just because it's all over the news. And I feel like there's so many people that gossip and they say things out of context or twist the story. And it's like, you better just hear it from me, okay? It's like,
Right.
even it's so weird because even the news twisted the story. So he did some things when he was like 13, 14 years old, and definitely not appropriate. I don't condone it or anything, but I do choose forgiveness. And I say, you know what he did when he was a younger teenager, um, he's not the same person as an adult. And so I choose to forgive him. And it was so interesting because when the news started coming out, they made it seem like it just happened like a year ago. They
Yep.
didn't, like, some other news reports didn't specify it happened when he was 13, 14, 15 years old, right? And so at that time, everyone turned against us. It was like
Mm.
we only had three friends who were like, we know who you are. We know you're not the person that you were as a teenager. And he's 39 years old now. So over 20, 25 years later, people change. It's like, yeah, we've all done some stupid ass shit. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but because the news kind of made it seem like it just happened like last year. I was like, what the hell? So they twisted the story a little bit. So because of that, it was all over. I mean, it was all over San Diego, LA. I mean, everywhere in the United States, everyone heard about it. The news liked that I was Christy Love, the porn star. So wait, this is great publicity. Let's make this extra big, right? Um,
Yeah, I love how every headline I see about that, it's porn star Christy Love, and it's just like, do you have to? I mean, every time do you have to say porn star Christy Love? What about pastor Christy Love? What about actress Christy Love?
Yeah, yeah. And so it was a really difficult time. I remember like everything was falling apart. Our neighbors turned against us. We lost all our friends,
Mm.
except again, three friends that were just so gracious and kind to us. And I remember in that season, my husband's business was pretty done with. And I was, mostly the one at that time, like really hustling to keep us surviving. And I said, and I told him, I said, "Yeah, why don't we, I've always wanted to live in LA because it's all, like my occupation's in LA, everything's in LA. And I remember I had a shoot in LA, and he was, meeting up with one of his business clients because he's a business coach. And he just said, you know what? Let's move to LA. It was just boom, just like that. And he did not want to move to LA for the longest time. He was like, he didn't like the traffic. He likes visiting LA, but not living in LA.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know what? Nothing is really holding us or keeping us in San Diego. And I was like, you know what? This actually would be beneficial for me. And I was like, this is a new market. This is a new, at the time we didn't know what the court was going to say or sentence him. So we just kind of made a decision that we were going to move. It was just such a quick decision. In a week, we, told our apartments that we wanted to, well, we had our lease, so we found someone else to take over our lease. We packed up our bags, and then in a month we just moved to LA just like that. uh,
Wow.
yeah, but I mean, it was very difficult, to be honest, because his case was still going, and so every apartment we applied to rejected us,
Ugh.
every single one. And he was already at his lowest. He was totally at his lowest. And I remember in that season I said, no, keep strong, keep strong. And I just remember saying, you know what, God's going to turn this around for your glory, for his glory. So I just said, keep staying strong. um Sorry, it's just a touchy subject because it was very painful. And I just remember, since no apartment would take us, I said, you know what? Why don't we just do Airbnb? They don't do a background check. We'll do a long term Airbnb and figure out what happens until the case, after the case is over. And then we'll know how to move forward. So we went straight to an Airbnb, and we just did month to month with an Airbnb. And when we moved to LA, it was like within a week, the judge just instantly said, hey, we're going to sentence you. And they sentenced him for 30 years. And I remember being in that huge Airbnb. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure my life together now. And then I moved into an apartment, and I had acquaintances in the industry, but I wasn't very close to anyone. So the first year was very difficult. But I would say my husband is so wonderful. He has a gift of like being a visionary, and like he can 10x your dream, and he can speak vision and life into you. And so I remember telling him, when I was feeling so sad, um, and he's one of those people who, like, despite his situation, he's always trying to encourage and uplift people. And even though he was in prison, he was like, keep pressing through, and he kept encouraging me. And he just kept saying, like, what do you want to do? Because I was like, at the moment, I was like, you know i I am tired of, I love being in the adult industry, but I'm coming up in age, and it's time for me to retire and move forward. And he just started speaking, like, just giving me fresh vision again. Like, why don't you go into entertainment? You've always said you wanted to get into Hollywood. And he encouraged me, like, why don't you get into stand-up comedy? Because it's something I've always wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? And I will always wanted to be a YouTuber. So he's like, let's game plan. And he started coaching me because he's a business coach, right?
Right.
So I started doing a cooking show on my YouTube channel. And then now I'm starting this podcast. And now my social media is growing so tremendously fast because of his coaching. And I'm hopefully in the process of coming out with a reality TV show. And
Wow.
yeah, so it's like things are flowing and moving forward, and it's all because the gift that my husband has is that he's a visionary. And he speaks, he knows how to take someone who has no vision in their life. He has this gift where, like, even if you have a tiny small vision, he'll make it so big, and you will leave at, like, having a conversation with him just filled with like motivation and just drive and excitement for life. And I'm grateful for that. And even though he's in prison and he's with a bunch of guys who are lifers and have no vision, and many people who want to commit suicide, um, and in their darkest moment, he even in there is saying, don't give up. you know um, there's still a future. He's helped many inmates in their start writing books. And so there's inmates in there writing books. He started in his last prison, started a church with a weekly attendance of about averaging about 200 people. And now,
Wow.
yeah, and now they moved him to another prison, and now he's doing Bible study weekly with, I mean, like the craziest people. And 45, it's grown up to 45 people now just attending the Bible study. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Sounds like he might have been put there for a more cosmic reason.
yeah, yeah. So we always talk about it, like we still feel like, you know what, God is in control, and he knows, even though it's in a situation we don't as people like, but he's touching so many people's lives. There's so many people that, have the motivation to live again, have hope again. And sometimes, you feel like your sacrifice is not the funnest, but if it touches other people's lives, it's worth it. So,
Man, that yeah, I mean, and thank you for sharing all that with me.
oh
That's
yeah,
very impressive to hear. The fact that, he can be in such a, I'm sure when he first, was sentenced and it was probably really, real, I'm sure super hard on him, but he was still able to find the light in you and be like, here's, let me help you. Let's do this. Like to shift the focus back onto you is that's not easy to do when you're in a very dark situation.
yes, yeah. He's always been like that. Just phenomenal. Just setting his own problems and his emotions aside to help other people out. He's always been like that. So,
Wow.
yeah,
How
yeah.
you still get to talk to him pretty often?
Yeah, we talk every day, and
Great.
I try to visit. I mean, I visit him every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, we're still going strong.
That's
I
great.
So I tell people he's my manager now. So people are like wondering, "Whoa, your social media game your is revamping, and it's just going phenomenal." And I say it's all thanks to him, because he's one of those people who really pushes me.
Yeah, I'm sure every meeting probably starts with, "Okay, tell me about your week, Christy, like all this great stuff you did," right? Like that's phenomenal. That's a good relationship right there.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to the question. I answered it in so long. Yeah, so moving to LA was, very difficult, but it got better when my husband started, saying, "Okay, now you're in LA. Go out and network," and eventually, I feel like, wow, now I'm flourishing in LA. But in the beginning, it was very, very difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure, again, once he left your everyday life, I'm sure you really started to feel alone. So being able to kind of prosper and kind of grow from the ground up like that, I mean, that's kudos to you, kudos to him for helping you and being able to go to where you're at now. I mean, that's quite the success story.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, so okay, so you've lived in LA now how long?
Um, I guess you would say probably almost 2 years. Yeah,
Wow.
a little bit, maybe
Okay.
a little bit, a year and a half, year and 8 months or something like that. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what you can tell me, but I mean, it sounds like you're interested in getting on, some type of reality show. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if you have anything in the works, but like, what piques your interest in that field?
Well, I can't talk too much about it because it's
Right.
still in the works, but it's pretty much about my crazy life,
Yeah.
Um, so I think it'll be very, very interesting. I'm still in the process of pitching it to people. So yeah, yeah, that's all I can talk about right now. I
That's
don't want
fine.
to go in depth, but I am coming out with a book. It is my memoir. It's called From Pastor to Porn Star, Holy to Horny, and
I love it.
Yes, yeah. So it's pretty much my story. How did I start as a pastor and then end up in in the porn industry and then going into comedy? So I give my memoir the whole story behind it and the chaos and the struggles and the pain that I had to go through, and to see, where I'm at and where even more that's to come. So that book, I'm hoping to be able to fully be done with it and launch it by January of 2026. Fingers crossed. I do not know, but I'm hoping that is the goal.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, so I'm guessing you've already done most of the writing and now it's just a matter of finding the agent and all that. All that it's funny because I'm also working on a book myself and
Ah,
it's, so everybody's sitting here like, oh, just write the book and publish it. I'm like, there's a lot more that goes into it than just writing the book and publishing it. Like there's a lot of other things you have to work through. You got to write so many different what's the words oh my goodness, the kind of the summary of the book, I forget what that's called, but yeah, you gotta, like, write that, and you gotta pitch it to the right people, and there's a lot more that goes into it than people realize.
oh, yes. Yeah,
Yep, it's tough.
definitely.
But no, that's fantastic, and your title, by the way, again, as an author myself, love the title. I don't think you could come up with a better one.
Oh, thank you. What is your book about?
Well, I'm a nerd, like I said. It's actually kind of a science fiction type book, and it's again, don't want to say too much myself either because still kind of working through it. But yeah, I'm about 2 chapters left. I have to write,
Mm,
and yeah, very excited to get it out. It's something that I started about 8 years ago, and then I hit writer's block, and I was like, oh, I'll get to it and literally every single day, I'd be like, "You should get back to writing that book." And I just never did. And something hit me about 4 months ago. I was like, get back to it. Just do it. Like make yourself do it. And I think that's the hardest part. And I'm sure you as someone who's helped coach people through problems, like it's just getting yourself to sit down and do the work. And for me, it was just, constantly coming up with excuses. Well, I'm busy with work. Well, my kid is, in the middle of this and I got to deal with this, my mom, like that's the other one. My mom moving her out of her house, and
mm.
it's like, just do it. Just stop coming up with excuses and make yourself do it. And the minute I started writing, it just started all flowing out. I probably wrote 4 chapters in my first sitting. And it was just like, yeah, this is what you got to do. You got to force yourself to put the work in.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yes, yes. The self-discipline is sometimes so difficult. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Especially if you have so many other responsibilities that you have to prioritize and on top of adding this. Oh my gosh, I get it.
Man, yeah. And well, it sounds like, with you adding now author to all the other things you're doing. I mean, what's next? You gonna write a rap song? I mean, you gonna be an artist? Like, what's the deal?
I don't know. I mean, I am a music major, so there's a possibility.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, cool.
So you're like, what the hell? Christy just came up with her own album.
Yeah, yeah, I'll have you back on and we can plug your album. That's fantastic. So, you mentioned that, with you writing the memoir, clearly your life's not over. You've got, so much more time here on this earth. Like, what else are you hoping to accomplish?
Mm. I want to own multiple businesses, definitely in real estate, something I want to do. I have a company that is in the works that I'm not going to talk about it, but I will when I'm ready to launch it. I think um, it's just going to be phenomenal. So I do have a company that I'm working on right now that I guess it's my other LLC that I'm working on. Um, what else is there? Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just focusing on the podcast and memoir, being in the adult industry and trying to get myself in Hollywood. And hopefully, with that, just do investments in whether businesses or real estate. Um, I've been back and forth about wanting to get in stocks because I heard it's can be lucrative. But, my white side is like, you suck at math, so you should not do it.
Your white side.
I mean, because I did not get that on my Asian side, okay? Out of all the topics in school that I was the worst at, yeah, it was math. And I was like, oh darn it, where's my Asian genes? It didn't kick in that part.
I have a friend that is also I think he's Korean descent, and he's there was one time he did some quick math in his head. I was like, man, it was like what's 2700 divided by 7, whatever we were trying to figure out, and he instantly just boom, and I'm like, how how did you do that so quick? He just goes, dude, come on, look at me, and I'm like, I can't even. You said it, I didn't. Yeah. So no, that's so funny because it's the same with me. Like Native American is my heritage, and
Mm.
people always are like, "Oh, so you're gonna go to the casino and gamble?" And I'm like, "No, I stay away from that because I know what that leads to."
Oh,
So,
no.
Christy, this has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed. We did not talk much about whatever I already forgot what the topic was. Something about boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Um, But who cares? Because I had a blast talking with you, and
Oh, it's
that's the whole point of the show is the conversations that go nowhere. And it definitely we went somewhere with it. We learned a lot more about you, and I just again just think what you've been through and what you're doing. It's just so impressive and such a success story for people to learn from. So again, give us the title of your book and the title of your podcast so people can check you out.
Yes, my book, my memoir is From Pastor to Porn Star, Holy to Horny. And my podcast is In Bed with Christy Love. So definitely check it out. So please sign up to my free VIP list, which is ChristyVIP.com. You're going to get all the updates. You're going to get when my book launches, when my podcast launches, and when I have other comedy shows or whatever. It's absolutely free. Again, please opt into ChristyVIP.com.
Yes, please do so. Thank you again, Christy. And again, if when you're ready to release your album, we'll have you back on, and you can plug that.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me a part of this wonderful podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The Pondcast, conversations that go nowhere. Produced by Jeff Ponder. Executive produced by Jeff Ponder. Music by Loud C. Smith. Talent booking by Jeff Ponder. Engineering and mixing by Jeff Ponder. A special thanks goes out to Milk because my bones are healthy. Remember to rate and review the Pondcast, conversations that go nowhere, just because you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you can get some heaven points by rating and reviewing. It's a win-win. Follow the Pondcast on all social media channels with the profile handle @PondcastConvos. Thanks for listening.